Hello, my name is Rosina, aka Mr. and welcome back to another video. What we're talking about today, and it's something that I have been going through process of, or whatever it may be. I just want to tell you my experience with it because I know that not only for entrepreneurs who go through this, it's for everyone who understands and knows what I'm going through, can relate to it, and hopefully if you're going through something similar, you can get out of it, because at the end of the day, it's about getting better. It's about not being stuck anymore. So I just want to give you my experience with mental health. Now, there's a lot of stigma attached to it, and people always assume, oh, if you have your worries, you must keep them to yourself. Hey, how are you? I'm good, and you? I'm just making a video at the moment. Bye. Goodbye. Yeah, there's a lot of negative attachment to mental health. If you, especially as a guy, it's very difficult for us to talk about our feelings, our emotions that we're going through, and it's like we're brought up to just push it aside. Now, my parents have always told me if I have anything on my mind, I must talk to them about it and we can go through, and I have done in the past. It's just that this one crept up on me. And I want to tell you my experience on how it slowly started to happen and the feelings that I went through, and hopefully my experience can help you identify your issues, or it can help you talk to someone. Because when I started talking to the positive people around me, it started to bring me out of that dark place that I was in. In the past, when I've gone through a lot, I tended not to feel it or care about it, you know. And I have this joke that I cry once a year. It's like when everything is built up, and then boom, it happens. Guys who don't cry, you will cry in your lifetime. Even if it's once, even if it's one tear that comes down your face, okay, you're gonna cry. And it's hard to talk about it because you're supposed to be a tough man. You're supposed to not cry. But yes, maybe once a year when shit hits the fan and you've been keeping all of this negative energy piped up, you're gonna cry, my dude. You're gonna cry, okay? And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Before, I never used to be affected by failure. Like, I would just brush past it and like, okay, get up and keep going, right? And that's how it should be, because failure in high school level and school level, if you got an F on a test, you could always go back at another test and improve on that mark and start getting better at it. Or if you end up repeating, guess what? You know that you've got that F in the past, but you can always improve it and get a better mark, turn it into an A. And that's what you can do with your failures. You can fail, and then eventually you will learn from your mistakes and move forward. But it's difficult. It is very difficult. And especially if you are out of high school, if you're out of college and you're on your own. Because at least in high school and college, you had some structure, you had some discipline, you knew you had to do assignments and stuff. Now when you're out in the real world and you don't have a job and you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to hustle, it can be very tough. So yeah, how did it start, and why did it go down? It all started when it started slowly with me. I went to the hairdresser because my hair was all the way down here. When the hairdresser cut my hair away, I saw my hairline had receded dramatically. In my head, it was a big thing. Like, my hairline went to this mole that I'd never seen before. Well, I had seen, but obviously it wasn't visible. I had to move my hair back in the day to see that mole, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing the mole without moving my hair. Okay, so I was like to the hairdresser, I was like, damn, like what's happening? She's like, oh, you're probably gonna lose your hair or something because your hair is very thin. So of course in my head that was a big thing. Like, I was like, no offense to anyone who has no hair, who's bald or stuff like that, but when you're used to having long hair and now your hair, you've told that you're gonna probably, like, your hair's thinning and that you're gonna lose your hair, it affects you. So, so for like good 2-3 months, I was obsessing over my hair. Like, I would look in the mirror and I would be like, shit, I look ugly. Like, that I don't think people who don't have hair look ugly, but in my head, I was like, fuck, I look ugly. At the same time, during that process, my business went from like up here to shit. Like, I made a couple of videos about it earlier last year. I was like, it went to shit. And then, I stopped gymming because it was just too much. Like, when I'd lift a weight or something, I'd get hurt. My long time shoulder injury would flare up. My back would flare up. And I was like, shit, okay, well, I'm not gonna gym if I'm feeling in this much pain, and then just slowly, it was like a slow thing that crept in. All of a sudden, started waking up and telling myself that I'm a failure, and that was difficult because I was used to, in the past, always being positive. Like, I've always been a positive guy, I've always told myself, if I can't make a video with my setup, with my gear, I'm gonna use my phone. I'm gonna edit on InShot. That's what I used to preach. If you don't have the gear, it doesn't matter. You got a phone. If you don't have a phone, you go and borrow your friend's phone for fucking 2 hours. You edit on InShot. You make sure that your content is out there, because yes, quality is key, but the message that you convey across is essentially what will make your channel. And that was in my head, back then. But I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do a thing. Like, everything I thought about, like, I would write lists of video ideas. Like, I'd get all motivated, and then when I'd wake up in the morning, I wouldn't feel motivated. I'd feel like, shit, I'm a failure, nothing's working out, I'd be so negative. And that's when I realized, and that's what I'm thankful for myself, is I self-checked myself. I was like, okay, what's happening? What's happening with me? Like, where am I going? What am I doing? Am I moving forward? But the days would just go by, and then I would think, what have I done in the week? I couldn't remember what I would do in the week, and that's because all the little things that you do within the week, they amount up to something big in the end. And if you can't track what you have done, and I'm not saying that you need to be absolutely meticulous about it, like,
shit, I need to know exactly what I ate on Monday morning or whatever.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if at least you write down in the day, okay, today I gymmed for 2 hours or an hour. I made a beat for half an hour. Working on your bigger goals. Like, let's say your big goal is to produce a song, and you haven't even made some sort of beat for even 20 minutes in the day, then of course that can be considered like you're not doing a thing. So how, at the end of the week, how does it add up, So that's what was happening to me. I felt like, Russ, your businesses are failing, and in the past I never understood what the fear of failure was, because it never crossed my mind. Like, I would always get up. If something didn't work out the way that I wanted it to be, I'd get up, try and do something different and make it work, And I wasn't doing that, because I finally realized, damn, I'm afraid of failing again, Like, I'm afraid. And it was it was uncomfortable. It was like I was scared to pick up the camera to talk about things, because I thought, well, if I'm a failure, then how can I teach people to do something if I've failed at something? Like, that's the point where I was at. And that's when I was like, okay, shit, I gotta change something, I gotta do something small every day that will lead me to get out of this rut, because I know that it's not going to change overnight. But I know that if I do something small every day, it's going to build up to the point where, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm out of this situation that I was in. And the things that I did to try and get out of this problem that I was in is start writing down the small things that you have done within the day. At first, I tried writing down everything that I did, and that also didn't work out, because I'd write a whole page and then I'd get lazy and then I'd write the small points. So what I've nailed it down to is, when you know that you've done something towards your goal, please write it down. That it really helps at the end of the week when you look back and you see, okay, cool. Another thing, get busy. Like, try and find something that you're not good at and work on that skill and get good at it. That really does help. Another thing that helped me a lot was, yes, it was really painful to gym, but I started to jog, started to work out, started to feel a lot better, like the endorphins going through. You know, I could barely run to the shop, which is just, I don't know, 100 meters away. And then I extended that and I went further and further each day, and it really helped me look at my life, you know, in a broader picture instead of this narrow thing when I was waking up and saying,
"Oh, I'm a failure."
Feeling sorry for myself. And yeah, I know that the experiences that I am or gone through English, yo guys, English that I've gone through might not be the same as yours. Key thing to do is to talk to someone, whether that be your family, your parents, your loved one, anybody. It all starts with talking about what you're going through so that people can help you in a way that you can get out of this rut. And I hope that this video does help you, but at the same time, please find and seek help, you know, with whatever you're going through. Talk about it to someone that really cares about you, because it will help 1000%. Yeah, so that's what the small experiences that I've been going through. I know that I'm working on my self-image and trying to get myself out of this situation, and it does start with with cleaning my room, with working on the certain things that I want to, you know, improve on in my life, and creating content, of course, because I feel that really will help me. But I'm going to leave it there. I hope that I've somehow helped you in this video, and please do not, I'm not an expert in this, so there will be links in the description down below where you can find professional help. And yeah, the best thing to do is talk about it, and it's actually really helped me talk about my experience with it. I feel a whole lift on my shoulder. Gents, it's okay to okay, don't worry. I'm not, yeah, that stigma, but do not stress, do not panic, keep your hustle, keep going. You will find a way. And yeah, I hope you just stay safe, stay sanitized, stay mentally healthy, stay English good, stay whatever. Leave us like on this button if this video, leave us like on this button. Yours, leave a like on this button. Oh my god. You know what? Remember to stay shining, keep smiling even on a rainy day. Cheers.